Pinkett Smith here live in our studio. We're going to talk about the new revelations from our heartfelt conversation last week and find out what kind of reaction she's been getting coming up right after this. We're back. It is 8:14 with Jada Pinkett Smith. Our wide-ranging, revealing conversation made a lot of headlines. We talked about her journey from the streets of Baltimore to the heights of Hollywood, that incident at the Oscar, her battle with severe depression, her relationship with Will Smith, and after all of it, Jada says she's finally feeling worthy. That's the title of her new book. It's out tomorrow. It's an incredible read. It's packed with so much. So glad to see you again.
I'm glad to see you.
So after we had our long sit down, this is stuff you've been carrying with you for many, many, many years, and it's out there.
Yeah.
So as we sit here today in a reflection of, was it the right thing to reveal, to talk about everything? Do you feel like you made the right choice?
Absolutely. I think at some point, I had to talk about my journey, And I think, just like we were talking about, I think there's so many of us who, hold so much, specifically women, and feeling like we're going to be criticized, we're going to be
can't say anything.
judged, you can't say anything. And the beautiful part about it is, like, this whole journey, as difficult as it's been, has just brought Will and I closer in such an authentic way. Instead of trying to be a thing, it's like just tearing all that down and finding what's true between us.
Wow.
And it's been beautiful. It's been difficult.
It's been difficult.
But beautiful.
Because one thing people were really still concerned about, or confused about, really, was, okay, hang on. They've been divorced in theory, but not on paper.
Yes.
They were not together, but kind of pretended they were together. So I had trouble articulating exactly why that was. So now that you've had more time, why was that?
We really needed time to get solidified, because at the end of the day, Will and I love each other. We had to really figure out what we wanted before we went into the world to say what was going on, because we were in such, we were just kind of in this very fragile place. And so now we're just super solid. Yeah. And so now I can actually talk about what the journey has been.
So Will talked to the New York Times, or gave a statement, and this is what he says. We'll put it up on the screen. This is from the Times itself. The memoir, Will Smith said in an email, kind of woke him up. She'd lived the life more on the edge than he had realized, and that she is more resilient, clever, and compassionate than he'd understood. And this is the quote. When you've been with someone for more than half your life, he wrote, a sort of an emotional blindness sets in, and all you can do, and you can all too easily lose your sensitivity to their hidden nuances and subtle beauties. It sounds like an emotional blindness, he didn't see you. Is that kind of what it was, that he...
I think, that's so universal in relationships. He didn't see me and I didn't see him, right? Yeah. And so we kind of had to go our separate ways to see each other, because when you're in a relationship and you're kind of just pulling at that person to be something for you, you refuse to see them. And so we had to go our separate ways to really look at ourselves and see the blocks that we had in order to find a way back.
One part that was very sensitive with you, and it was very touching to me that you'd gone through it, but you talked about the idea that you were maybe going to kill yourself.
Yeah.
That you felt like you were not, your kids would have been better off, Will would have been better off, everyone would have been better off without you. Yeah. What did your kids think when they saw that part of your story told in that way?
Well, I've talked to them about it.
Like, so they know.
Yeah, they knew. They knew before the interview came out. But I was talking to my mother the other day, and everybody knew that I was very unhappy, but just couldn't figure out why. Because everybody thought how I thought. You've got everything. What is wrong with you? Because I didn't know what was wrong with me either. Because you have to remember, during that time, no one was really talking about mental health. Yeah. And so I didn't understand, and nobody around me understood.
The other thing people asked me was, you talked about how you were at the brink, and then you took something, and it changed you, and it was ayahuasca for you. Ayahuasca really was...
That was the turning point.
So that in and of itself turned you from the brink of suicide.
And I never had a suicidal thought again. Now, in saying that, ayahuasca is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I want to be very clear about that. You have to really have someone who's very trained to guide you through that. It was a very extreme, you know, situation for me, but I swear I'm so grateful that I went through it, because in 4 days, I had 4 excruciating nights, but on the other side, I never.
And you never had a suicidal thought since then?
Never.
The title of your book is Worthy. And so today, as we sit here on this couch,
I feel worthy.
Tell me.
Yeah, I just feel so good. I've been through so much, you know, and when you can really look at your life, and we think that life is supposed to be perfect, and when life isn't perfect, we feel like, oh, then I'm not worthy, then something's wrong with me, and that's not what it's about. We get challenged with life in order to keep building our self-worth, to keep finding our greatness, you know, and so that's what the book is about. It's about that journey.
If you find another great love, or if Will finds another great love.
There's no finding another great love, and I think that's the point. It's like, we are in a place now that we are in a deep healing space, and we are really concentrating on healing the relationship between us.
So it may not be the divorce on paper anymore?
There's no divorce on paper.
I mean, not on paper. There might not be a divorce in theory anymore?
Yeah, no, we really have been working hard.
Oh.
See?
Okay. Well, I didn't know that.
We might. I was trying to take.
Well,
wait. Totally missed that on the whole. That's the whole thing.
So wait. Just so I'm 100% clear, you were divorced, not on paper, but now we might be a point where we're back together.
We are working very hard at bringing our bringing our relationship together.
Back to a marriage again.
Back to a life partnership. Yes, because here's the thing about husband-wife marriage for me, for my healing process. I came into that with very specific ideas, right? Very specific ideas that were blocks to me just seeing Will as who he is. He can't be this perfect, idealized husband.
Yes, of course.
I have to be able to accept him for the human that he is. He accepts me for the human that I am, and we want to love each other there.
Okay, so you might like live in the same house and have the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's the only part. That's the only part in the special that I felt like got lost.
Well, guess what? It is found. We found it today. We found it today. Jada, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. You guys, check out the book Worthy. It's got a lot of life lessons in it, beautifully written, and it tells you so much about your life story. So much in here about how you raise your children, your life before there. It's full of richness. So, Jada, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
The book's out tomorrow. All right, Mr. Roker, how about a check of the
We landed the plane, baby.
We landed it.
Boom.
Yes.
All right. I like that.